Друзі, сьогодні пересічним американцям я буду показувати марш захисників України. Вони мають здогадатися, яка це країна по цьому відео. Потім я буду показувати їм карту світу, вони мають знайти Україну, а також вони мають відповісти на 5 тестових питань про Україну. Я вам відразу скажу, сьогоднішнє відео дуже цікаве, і американці вийшли набагато розумніші, ніж у попередніх відео. Думаю, вам дуже сподобається. Якщо ви ще не підписані на Україну, обов'язково підпишіться зараз, а також ваші лайки. Як вони важливі для просування цього каналу, будь ласка, не забудьте поставити лайк. Давайте назбираємо до цього відео 15 тисяч лайків, так само, як ми зробили до попередніх відео Test on Ukraine. Приємного перегляду!
I'm Adam Sadak. I'm a software developer here in Ohio, and I grew up just a little bit north of here in Michigan.
And you lived in Germany as a kid, right?
I did. When I was 3, we moved to Wiesbaden, Germany, and I moved to Michigan when I was 6.
Speakst du Deutsch noch? Oder
ein bisschen.
Ein bisschen, nicht so good, yeah.
Very, very nicht good.
I'm Judy Midkiff. I'm a nurse practitioner, and I was born here in Columbus, Ohio.
Mike Midkiff. I'm a IT manager, also born here in Columbus, Ohio.
So my name is Justin, and I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio. I live in Denver, Colorado now. I'm a software developer.
Oh, second software developer for the name.
So my name is Roger, and my profession is I'm a foreign language teacher. I teach ESL, English as a second language, and I teach French and Arabic.
I'll show you a video of a celebration of Independence Day of one of the countries. It was a few days ago, so there's a couple of minutes, and you'll try to guess what country is it. Okay? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, those colors I think are Ukraine. The yellow on the bottom and the blue on the top flag.
Okay.
I'll wait till it's over.
I learned the flags one time for, I don't know if you know Sporkle. Sporkle.com. It's a website where you can do all these different quizzes, and I wanted to learn all the flags.
I have a guess.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna guess Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia? Okay. 2 more guesses too.
Oh.
You can, yeah.
I've never been to the Ukraine, but
Okay.
that's not how I learned it either. I learned it from the internet.
So you were right, this is Ukraine.
Yeah.
Romania?
Okay, that's second guess.
And still wrong.
So you see a lot of military people.
Yep.
Yeah, the hint is that in a part of this country there is war. Okay.
Ukraine.
So is the independence gained from some kind of military action?
Not just that, there are some military actions going on inside the country right now. So
Is it Belarus?
No, but
Okay.
it's close to Belarus.
Oh, it is? Okay. It's not Ukraine?
It is Ukraine.
It is Ukraine,
Yeah.
okay. That was going to be my second guess.
Can I ask you any questions?
You can, yeah, sure.
So, independence, what year are we talking?
That would be a big hint, but maybe I'll tell you after you tell me more like some of the guesses.
Okay, so I mean, Eastern Europe.
Eastern Europe, okay.
I've been a little busy, so I haven't been following the news terribly closely, and of course American news. So I don't remember which country just celebrated their independence, but celebrated in the month of August.
Yes.
And I see the Cyrillic alphabet, so I mean, I'm tempted to say, and the flag is not.
It's blue and yellow.
Yeah, right. So I mean, I'm tempted to say Ukraine, Bulgaria, Black Sea area, or maybe the Balkans, somewhere Slavic speaking.
Okay, I give the year 1991.
Yeah. Okay. Former USSR.
Yes.
Yeah. Have I already said the country's name?
You mentioned that.
I've mentioned the country, so it's Ukraine.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
Ukraine.
Right,
Sorry.
I'd say all these good-looking blonde people. I mean, it's kind of a hint, right?
What do you know about Ukraine? What have you heard about Ukraine?
Oh boy. Okay. The capital is Kiev, I believe.
Wow. So you actually answered the first question, which was...
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
I believe it borders Russia, and there was a thing a few years ago with Crimea where Russia was trying to annex because they said there were a lot of Russian speakers there, which I think they did do. I don't 100% remember this, but I think that did happen, and then it just became part of Russia. It would have been part of the USSR, I think.
I know that they are currently fighting not the Russians, but the Russians.
Their leader, they're like Putin.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Russia basically annexed Crimea, and they are currently still fighting a war for other parts of the Ukraine and to try to get Crimea back.
Also in the eastern Ukraine, there is this war going on right now because they want to also take part of eastern Ukraine.
Yes.
And more than 10,000 Ukrainians have died in this war. So in this march, it's featuring people who defend Ukraine. They're the mothers of those soldiers that have died.
I know that, well, it's alleged that Russia annexed Crimea. Wasn't that like last year or 2 years ago?
2014.
2014,
Yeah.
okay. Oh my God, was it 6 years ago?
Have you been to Europe?
Once, to Italy.
To Italy?
No, no, I haven't been too many places. But I hear it's very pretty.
Tell me, what do you know about Ukraine? Blonde people, is it something that you think of when you think of Ukrainians?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're sort of known for their beautiful blonde models, right? I mean, that's one thing. But I had a student at Ohio State tell me that I should no longer call it the Ukraine, but just Ukraine.
That's a smart student. That is really smart.
Well, she's Ukrainian.
Do you know why? Did she tell you why?
Right, because if you refer to it as the Ukraine, then it was referring to it as still being sort of a state of the USSR.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. So I actually was supposed to go spend 2 years in Ukraine.
Really?
With the Peace Corps. Do you know the Peace Corps?
Yeah, I have a friend who just was there for a year but had to leave because of the COVID events. Yeah.
So I would have loved to have gone, but
Why were you thinking of going to Ukraine and not some other country?
so at that time you had no choice. So you applied, and they sent you where they wanted to send you. I speak French and Arabic and Spanish. I spent decades studying those languages, and so I was really hoping to go spend 2 years in a place where I could use one of those languages.
Okay.
So when I applied for the Peace Corps,
And they sent you Ukraine.
and they sent me to the Ukraine. At the exact same time, I was applying for PhD programs, and so I literally had to make a choice. And it's actually kind of ironic, your timing, because I just, 7 years later, I just finished my PhD. and
What is your PhD in?
Foreign language education.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. So I did make this choice between going to the Peace Corps and spending 2 years in Ukraine and meeting blonde, blue-eyed girls, or going to a PhD program.
I hope you're not regretting about your choice.
No comment. So I've only been to 3 countries in the MENA, North Africa, Middle East, and so those are Kuwait, Sultanate of Oman, and then Morocco.
What do you think is the stance of things between Russia and Ukraine right now?
I'm like going way out on the limb here, but I'm going to guess that a majority of Ukrainians feel like they want to be separate from Russia and kind of like not be controlled by Russia.
Anything else you know of Ukraine except for girls?
Oh, sure. In an undergrad, it was a winter internship, and I wrote a grant to bring Ukrainian scholars to Ohio. They had a program called the International Visitors Program, and so I wrote the grant so that they could come and study Jewish communities and Holodomor. So there's a museum all about that in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah.
And so
in Ukrainian village.
probably right.
Yeah, near Cleveland.
Near all the giant Ukrainian churches.
Yeah.
So
I just was there last week. So,
oh, great.
yeah.
Say hi to my people. So I brought them, and the grant was successful, so they did come. So that was fun. Yeah, Ukraine would be fantastic to go. And I also, in Cleveland, they used to have it, but there's a festival called the Tall Ships Festival.
Okay.
So they're giant sailboats. It was in like now, August, September. So all these ships from all over the world would come to Cleveland and then probably to other cities in the Great Lakes. And there was always one from Ukraine, and they came every year.
A ship from Ukraine. Wow.
A sailboat.
I didn't know that.
With no motor.
I have the map of the world. Can you try to show Ukraine here?
Okay, Ukraine is right there.
Okay, cool. Can you try to show Crimea maybe here?
Oh, not this like island thing down here?
Yes, yeah, this is Crimea. And now in the eastern Ukraine, in the east of Ukraine here, there is a war going on there. More than 10,000 Ukrainians died, and they are trying to take over more territory over there. Russians are trying to take over more territory. The video that you watched, it was in March. Those military guys who, try to defend Ukraine over there.
So where's Ukraine? Right there.
Yeah.
Right there?
Yeah, and the Crimea?
It's this little section right down here.
Yeah.
Should I do it backwards? And show you what?
Yeah, you can start from
Show you where Ukraine is?
Yeah.
Could it be right there? Although this is an old map because, well, I'm not going to bring up the Crimea.
No, actually I wanted to bring that up. What do you think about that situation?
Well, I'm not Ukrainian.
But from the perception of what you learn from media and other news, what...
So I'm not your typical American, right? Foreign issues I'm pretty interested in, right? Yeah. So what do I think about it? I think it was against international law. I think it was a very significant historical event, and Mr. Putin got away with it, didn't he? Or it appears that way. I mean, I understand if there are Russian-speaking Ukrainians in the East that do not want to be part of Ukraine, there are democratic ways to go about doing that. So, I mean, I'm sympathetic. Very, very troublesome that a country can do that in 2020 for the world order. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not just for the case of Crimea and Eastern Ukraine.
The situation going on in Belarus is also a little bit scary because Putin went out,
All of Eastern Europe, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all the countries. I mean, that's why Poland is militarizing, right, and wants so much U.S. support, right?
The capital of Ukraine. There are 4 options for you.
Kiev.
Kiev.
Kiev. Okay, cool.
The spelling threw me off.
Yeah, so this is the Ukrainian version of spelling.
Okay.
Because IE, which you probably thought of, is
Yep.
Russian version. So
better.
this is a correct. Exactly.
Okay.
That's a better one.
Budapest, Warsaw, Kiev, Minsk.
Yes.
Oh God, this is a geography lesson. I didn't. Budapest. No, that's Hungary. Oh man, I'll say Kiev.
Yeah.
Did I get
That's
it?
correct. Small test. The capital of Ukraine. You have 4 options.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kiev, but how do you say it? Go ahead,
Kyiv.
say it.
Kyiv.
Kyiv.
Yeah. What is the population of Ukraine? 5, 20, 40, 80 million.
40.
I guess 20.
It's probably 80.
You're right. It's 40. Yeah.
40?
Oh, that's a good question. So it's not 5 million. I don't believe. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say, 80 seems like a lot. I would say between 20 and 40. Yeah.
20, 40, 20, 40.
20 million.
So it's the largest country in Europe by territory.
That doesn't surprise me. But population-wise, though, there's.
Yeah, it's not the
because
largest
most
by
things
population.
population is pretty much located around the capital city and.
Kyiv is just 3 million actually. The correct answer is 40.
40. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I get points
It
taken
used
away.
to be 52 in 90s, and unfortunately
Yeah.
decreased by 10 million by now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So the U.S. has 300 million. So
That's
say
right, 330,
Yeah. I'm gonna say 80 million sounds too high because that's like a quarter of the United States, and I would guess it's smaller than that. I'll go with 20.
20. Okay, it's 40.
Ah, dang! I almost did it. I changed at the last second.
The population of Ukraine, 5, 20, 40, 80 million of people.
I'll say 40.
Wow. Why do you think 40?
I don't know.
It is correct. Yeah, wow. In the west of Ukraine, we have mountains. The largest mountain is almost 2 miles tall. What is the name of those mountains? Alps, Carpathians, Ural Mountains, and Himalayas.
Okay, so for sure it's not the Alps. That's like Switzerland. Himalayas are like Nepal. I know that the Ural Mountains are somewhere Russian-ish, but like there's a part of me that wants to pick Carpathian too. So
Ural or Himalayas? I'll say Ural.
So where are Alps and Himalayas and Carpathians?
I don't know Carpathians. I'm guessing they're where Carpathia used to be. Himalayas are the border of India and Nepal. Alps, I know there's portions of it in France, and I know that the Ural Mountains are like somewhere in Soviet-esque territory, so that's why I guessed that one.
So, the Carpathians are by Romania and Ukraine, right? I'm trying to think. The Urals. I'm trying to think here.
Don't think they're the Himalayas.
Probably the Urals. Or is that too far
It's between those two.
between which two?
Ural and
The Ural?
Carpathians.
Ural and Carpathians.
Carpathians.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Carpathians.
Carpathian. And you?
Carpathians.
Yeah, this is correct. Yeah. So Ural Mountains are in the middle of Russia, and Ukraine has Carpathians.
Ah, okay. Okay.
I'm going to say that the Urals are in Russia and the Carpathians are the ones you're talking
That is
about.
correct. That is correct. Yeah.
It's the Carpathians, isn't
It
it?
is Carpathians.
I don't know the name of the tallest mountain though. What is the name?
Hoverla.
What is it?
Hoverla.
Hoverla.
Yeah, that's correct.
You're saying it's 2 miles from the base to the top?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay, so the.
1.5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
In the south of Ukraine, there is a sea. What is the name of that sea? Mediterranean, Black, Caspian, Yellow Sea.
The only one that I know for sure it's not is the Mediterranean.
Okay.
I'll tell you that for no reason, before you even show me the options, my brain said Caspian, so I'm just gonna pick that.
It's Black Sea.
Okay.
Black Sea.
Black Sea.
Oh my gosh, you're the smartest people today.
In the south,
Yeah, in the south of Ukraine, there is sea, where Crimea is.
there's the Black Sea.
Black Sea.
Yeah.
I have never heard of the Yellow Sea. the
Yellow
Caspian.
Sea is close to Japan.
I just am terrible with geography.
No, you're right. It's Black Sea. I was just trying to
Okay,
confuse you a
okay.
little bit, but you're right. And the last question. What is official language in Ukraine?
So if the whole Crimean thing was about Russian speakers, it must not be Russian.
I have no idea. Is it Russian?
Why do you think it's Russian?
Because it must be somehow linguistically similar, since you guys are kind of similarly situated.
I'm just gonna say it's Ukrainian.
Yeah!
Alright.
Yeah, it's Ukrainian. Wow.
Ukrainian is too easy.
It is Ukrainian. Yeah, many people, you will be surprised, many people think that it's Russian and that Ukrainian language doesn't exist. It is Ukrainian, which is a separate language.
I thought that was the other. I was like, now that's going to sound dumb if that Ukrainian isn't even a language.
It is a language,
Okay.
yeah. 70% of Ukrainians speak Ukrainian and 30% speak Russian, still speak Russian, you
Okay.
know. And I hope more people will speak Ukrainian in the future, but that's a stance of things right now. And official language in Ukraine is
Ukrainian.
Ukrainian, yeah. That was the easy question for you. Have you ever heard Ukrainian language?
No.
Probably, but in the video.
I can say you a poem in Ukrainian by our most famous Ukrainian writer.
Okay, sure.
Я не нездужую ні в року, а щось таке бачить око, і серце жде чогось, болить, і плаче, і не спить, мов негодована дитина. Лихої, тяжкої години, мабуть, ти ждеш. Добра не жди сподіваної волі, цар Микола її приспав. І щоб збудить хренну волю, треба миром громадою обух столить, та й добре вигострить сокиру, та й заходиться вже будить, а то проспить собі небога до суду Божого страшного, а пан буде колихать, храми палати мурувать, любить царя свого п'яного, та й більше бачиться нічого.
It sounds pretty. Can you translate it?
Taras Shevchenko was the poet who wrote it. It's about, there was a period when Russia was occupying Ukraine in history, talking about that trying to inspire Ukrainians to fight for their freedom. The Tsar Mykola was an, Tsar, like the biggest guy, so that Ukrainians have enough brevity to go fight against him.
Oh, that's cool.
Ще не вмерла Україна, ні слава, ні воля, ще нам, браття, володіє, усміхнеться доля. That's the first part of our anthem. Now you have heard Ukrainian.
Okay.
A little bit.
I was always curious, like, what's the opinion within Ukraine about Russia's incursions into Crimea?
Yeah, that's a great question. Things that happened, to 2014. There were elections that made it look like Crimean wants to be a part of Russia were falsified. And also Ukraine was experiencing a weak political and economic situation at that point. I think Russians used that as an opportunity to say, hey guys, it's better to live in Russia than in Ukraine right now. And they use this weak situation to, annex, to inspire, some people to. What is bad that they still want to take over larger part of Ukraine, in the east of Ukraine. Ukraine just want to leave its territories and don't want to have people to die. And many people who live there have to leave the east of Ukraine and go away because it's dangerous to be over there.
Yeah.
And our economy is struggling. A lot of our enterprises are in the east of Ukraine. We have a strong metallurgical sector enterprises, and it's unfortunate.
We wish you well, and we hope you continue your independence.
Hello, Ukraine. America loves you.
Good luck with the virus. I mean, we are also having a horrible time trying to contain this virus, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's also an issue. There are Americans who know a little bit about what's going on in Ukraine, and they are concerned about it. There is sort of a frustration because I don't think Americans in general are really eager to get into another military conflict. Seems like a very unfortunate and really horrible event that, again, one country can just come and say, hey, this is our country now. It seems very unfair. Wishing you all the best, Ukrainians. Greetings from Ohio.
Ну що, дякую вам дуже за перегляд. Якщо вам сподобалося, було цікаво дивитися, то ставте вподобаєчку, а також залиште коментар з тестовими питаннями, які мені ставити у наступних випусках. Я з радістю їх поставлю. Тестове питання і 4 варіанти відповіді. Відправляю вам шматочок свого серця, і ми дуже скоро побачимося з вами у наступних відео.